G'day. Welcome to the Forbidden History Chronicles, take number 574. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. I'm so glad you hung around and persisted with us. We're good to go. We're doing it, so we'll do it for as long as we can. So I'll get straight into it. I'll just say g'day to Lynn. Hi Lynn, how's it going? Hey Shelley. And I apologise for the setting being for the reminder thing, for being half an hour early. I set it up to start at midnight my time, which is 10 a.m. Desert time, and I didn't even think to have a look at it, and it flicked to 11:30, so 11:30 p.m. my time, so I don't know. I'll be sure to double check and triple check. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong tonight, but we persisted. Yeah.
Gremlins are real, Ninja. Gremlins
Yes,
are
they
real.
are.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. So, yeah, all is good. Thank you, Father, for letting us continue with this. I'd like to welcome Desert. I haven't read your introduction yet, so I'll read that first. Okay, signs of the times. In essence, excuse me, in essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time. Who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world. About who the giants really were, the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the earth-based misnomered UFOs which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is a grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the three main religions of the world in particular, used as their grand cover. Their cyber code has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, excuse me, religion, custom, law, cosmology and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. He can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control and ancient art and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, and print media, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the beginning of time. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it, but they are cleverly leaving us in the dark. Hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemtrails to fluoride in the water, to tainted vaccines, to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all by the clever means of deception, because we most all are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, but they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And that was written by Dezert-Owl, who I'd like to finally welcome to the program. And hi, Crystal, and that way, how's it going? How's it going, Desert? Thanks for the sound check, Lynn. Yeah.
Desert has left the broadcast. He has timed out. Good to have you. We hung in there. Some problems often went to 90 minutes, and this was only an hour. And
I'm laughing from
relief.
relief.
The bugs, but bugs still happen, right?
Yeah, I'm just so glad that people are listening still. Thank you for persisting. I appreciate you all. And Desert, thank you.
And welcome to Crystal. Welcome to the program. We have a new listener. I don't know if you and Lynn know Crystal, but Crystal's. I checked your website out.
Yeah, Crystal's been on for the Forbidden History series in the chats a couple of times as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been I can't
Peachy
remember.
keen.
I'm on aluminum, So
yeah,
anyway, thank you, Ninja. So you hung in there, and we did it. So it looks like what happened is the algorithm out there on the cyberspace, it just kind of picked up, right? Something happened with the internet quality or speed or something of that effect. Is that what happened? Because you seem to
everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Like, I preset the time when I finally, thank you, Yo Engineer, for showing me the simplest way to set up an event for a live stream. That worked, but the time flicked back half an hour. I know what I typed in, and so that was weird.
Okay.
And the signal, went
you're gonna do 30 minutes ahead,
funny.
Just to help out.
Yeah, if I type in 30 minutes ahead, then it should come up right.
All right, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
And so before we get started, was there anything you wanted to add to the broadcast?
Well, there's something that I was seeing. Do you want me to do it now? Because I've put some pictures in and everything.
Well, before we get into the main program, let's take care of any business we need to do. That way we're
business.
I'm already wearing down, Ninja. So let's get rolling here. What do we got?
Okay. Just going down my list. I'll just put this up for now. Okay. As you know, I was listening to the recording of the broadcast on. Hang on, I might as well advertise the channels as well. Listening to the recording of the broadcast on the Farrah Fenton Bible Daily Read channel, which is Desert's new channel, set up by our Yo Engineer. Thank you very much. I was listening to that, and I had the PDF up on the screen, on the computer screen. I was reading along as you were reading and transliterating, and it's just so powerful, Desert. It's amazing. I didn't feel good until I sat down and did that earlier tonight. So thank you. It's very much appreciated. And you were talking about, there was a break and you came back and you were talking about something different. I should have written it down. You were talking about something different, and we're about to go back to the read after that. You were talking about Peter. Cafe, is that... Oh, you're talking about cafe and coffee. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, that's got nothing to do with what I'm going to show you. Okay, so, you know how we've been... we've noticed a few videos about the lingams and the energy and the manipulation of the frequencies in regard to earthquakes and weather. Okay, I saw something and I just want to get your opinion on it. I hope I can explain it right. I'll just put a picture of the lingam up. nasty as it looks. That's what we're talking about for anyone who hasn't seen other videos around on it. This was found on Google Maps at the epicenter of the first, maybe the second big earthquake in California the past week or so. Okay, so Peter Cafe, I wrote down, you said means the fiery keys of the Virgin Woman.
The fiery keys. K is the fiery keys, and we find it in the word Caesar, which is correctly Kazar. And so Fey, as we see with the PH, not an F. An F is a corruption to hide the PH. The PH is the creation, and the AY is the I, PHAY. But so we could read it backwards. The PHAY is the eye of creation. But the eye of the creation is the woman. The woman represents creation. She's the one that brings forth the baby. Yeah. And so the fiery keys of the woman, or the fiery keys in the eye of creation, these are all relative terms.
Yeah. So the woman part is the part I was getting at. This world. Okay, as we know, this whole world is saturated by deception and tricks and distractions and all the rest of it. But what I was seeing was duality. The fiery keys of the Virgin Woman. I was thinking of keys and fiery, meaning on the good side, meaning the words, the Aishavors, have power, and they come from the light. They are the light. They're living. They have energy. They have power. And okay, I'll go to the next picture. You'll see it in a minute.
And I should have added that the woman, in that sense of the fiery keys of the woman, or the Fae, is in the primordial, is the represented by the sun. That is the virgin light coming down, the virgin creation. The pH is creation, and so, but it becomes corrupted in the fall of creation, going from the virgin light of the atomic energy down into lower dense matter and compound configurations, which ultimately brings forth the structure for mankind and his own body, but which is the illusion that houses his spirit, and so he's trapped in a false dimension of physical matter, and therefore is deceived by the illusions that this world creates until he can correctly read it. How about that?
Thank you. Continuing. Okay, so I'm seeing the duality and the repetitiveness with this deception in this world. You should be seeing the picture now. Like St. Peter's Square. Okay, that's what made me think of it. I started off with Peter, meaning the fiery keys of the Virgin Woman, and you just explained all of that beautifully. And now we have St. Peter's Square, which is actually not a square. It's the shape, very similar to that.
Yeah.
And that controls frequencies, right? Okay, see where I'm getting at. And that...
Yeah, well, it definitely looks similar. And where we find the circle is inside the square. The square is the symbolic of the four directions. And what's contained within the four directions is the sphere. The sphere is the circle. But also that looks like a classic, that configuration of all the columns going in a circle. Also looks like what we would call tongs. Tongs are the grippers that grip the steel when they manufacture steel, because the steel was the first aspect of production and the fall of mankind. When he decided to conquer the world, he created the steel using those tongs.
Yeah,
So that's why
wow.
they're shaped that way.
Wow, and there's also the key shape in there.
Well, it's a keyhole. It's a
Yeah.
keyhole also for the
Yeah.
keys. And at the very center is the symbol of creation, which is the obelisk, which represents
Yep.
the male erection.
Which
and
made
it's a
me,
symbol also of
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And you know,
Wow.
and so a lot is going
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, and because of the shape of it and the obelisk in the middle also made me think of the lingam and the manipulation of energy and frequency. That picture there is overflowing with people in it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah, energy from people.
hold that
like
picture. Okay, right. But hold that picture for a moment because now I'm seeing it in a new light. Well, another aspect that I've not seen before, Ninja, and you know, you're bringing it up. See, this is what's beautiful about other people getting the pictures because all of a sudden somebody else sees it from a different aspect and they're bringing it on. And now, so look at now how it comes out into those buildings on the bottom right. You see how it looks like the tray that that holds the lingam in
Yes.
India, right? The obelisk is obviously miniature in the middle, but it would be a giant obelisk or a lingam or what we call a phallus in the middle, but it's a miniature one because it's an illusion.
Yes.
And so, but notice how on the right, once it goes through the forks, then as it goes into those buildings, it gets narrow and tight.
Yes.
It's on an angle,
Exactly.
and it looks exactly like that. And by the way, it also represents a pitchfork for a tuning fork for sound.
Oh, frequency, energy. Yeah,
All
and
that.
see,
It's all there.
yeah, and I was
so
showing
so the tray, I just want to add the tray is the vagina. That's the vagina when the phallus is in the middle of it. You see, so it's a male-female symbolism.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, and yeah, the big thing that I saw was that all the big rituals around the world that they do with like this, for example, and the Super Bowl, they're always feeding off everybody's energy, and that's the frequency, the same as the lingam in the desert is using frequency. Whatever that black liquid is inside it is being used in regard to manipulating the frequencies and the energies, where with the Vatican, the people are the black liquid, to put it, do you know what I mean? And I saw something else, Desert. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Vatican starts with a V for starters. And the first three letters of the word Vatican, VAT. Yeah, VAT.
That's the serpent.
Okay.
The VAT. So the V is the prime symbol. We see them putting the V on the sleeves of all the soldiers of all the militaries around the world. They put the V on the Bradley tank, and the V stands for victory while they wage war. War is a combination of two V's, and the V originally was supposed to represent the virgin light that comes down, which implies peace. And so the VAT, the AT is the alphabet. That's the primary aspect of creation, because without communication, and AT representing the alphabet, then creates the VAT, and that's why it represents the serpent, because the first serpent is the communication device, the algorithm, the sound wave, all of those coming out from the great Father of Light. It is the serpent energy from the beginning of primordial time that then brings forth all other forms of the serpent creation. It is one creation, and it is serpent. Everything spins.
Wow. Wow, Desert, and you heard it here first. Yeah. Well, I'm getting speechless already.
Sounds like you're getting the picture, Nina. That's great.
It's just, I can see it on every level. Like, I can see this shape everywhere, and I can see how it's the basis of their technology and their manipulation of this entire world and us. It's the, I don't like saying this word, but it's the root of everything involving the deception. It's the key. There you go. It's the key to the
What
seeing.
What specifically is the key?
The key, the lingam, the shape, the energy, the frequency.
Oh.
It's the key to
right. It's
seeing the light.
Simple, but
yeah.
But it's a simple. But in this particular picture on the desert flat, it may actually be a frequency generator. It's not when we see it in a stone monument that they're all massaging, pouring milk over in India. It's purely symbolic, but this may be a true frequency generator. We don't know the real nature of it, but certainly it's a military technology. It's not, but they created it in the shape, and it also serves the purpose because it is a tuning fork.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's giving out a frequency.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that was my little presentation, and I'd like to say g'day to Corey. Thank you for hanging around and persisting with us. And I saw Duck in there too. G'day, Duck. How's it going? If you're still there.
Yes, hey, Duck. Good to have you.
Yeah, and anyone else that's listening, I've noticed we're up to 9, so that's really cool. So welcome everybody. Love you guys, and thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm trying to find something to replace the picture of this lingam. I think I've gone too far up the list. Okay, we'll go with something nice. All right.
Why don't we, because we put a lot of time out, and like I said, I've been, we've been at this already for an hour and a half, and it really just got started. And so why don't we do the alphabet on the letter B? I think that might be the appropriate thing. All right, let me do some words. I have some words in front of me, okay, and then we'll go there. So that way you got time to prepare to bring up, not while I'm doing this presentation, but once we're ready to go, boom, you click it.
Yeah,
there,
it's
okay? So,
good to go. It's ready.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So I want to welcome any of our new listeners out there that are tuning in and trying to wrap their mind around what we're talking about here. We have a presentation and discussion that clearly goes beyond what anyone else is doing out there. There are some great researchers out there, some people that are definitely into the words and dissecting words, and they're doing it. But what the Heavenly Father's done with me, he opened up my awareness of the primordial element, which is the Indo-Germanic mother tongue, aka Aramaic, aka the Archai Melech. The Archai Melech means the royal message of the great archive, the great arche. The K, there's the K again, the power of the fiery keys. The power of the fiery keys is arche. You see, I transliterated that for the first time in my life, probably right there, because I can read. The Heavenly Father showed me how to read, so I just have to look at a word, and I can transliterate it back into the Indo-Germanic mother tongue. I've got a couple dictionaries in front of me here by L. Austin Waddell, and in here this comes from the 1800s, and we have to wonder why we haven't heard of him, but in there he says that in our modern English, English for Anglo-Saxon, Aryan, not to give Aryan any promo, because we're all in the same boat and there's no superiority today with any Aryan, okay, other than he thinks he's better than everybody else. But in Waddle, he says that we are speaking 75% in his dictionary from the 1800s of genius, absolute archaeologist, wrote multiple books, and has made the connection between Sumer and Maitar, not with Nibiru and Anunnaki, but with Sumer and Maitar, falsely called Egypt, okay, and showing it's an Aryan creation, an Aryan race, not people made in test tubes, and that they all of the Aishavors, that's the original term for word, Aishavor. There's the word Aisha. We've seen that on the map all our life, and nobody ever told you what Aisha means, but we tell you right here, the royal eye. Aisha is the royal eye, and we have to have eyes for seeing. And Waddle says that we're speaking today in our modern English, 70% Sumerian. 70% of our terminology goes back to Sumer, and why is that? It is because whether you're speaking French, German, English, Latin, Spanish, Portuguese, Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, you name it, it is all Indo-Germanic. All Indo-Germanic, ladies and gentlemen. So see, that's the good news, because it means we can follow the trail back to our primordial source and our root. We got stuck in the Hebrew and the Greek, which is controlled by the priesthood, and they want us staying there. They want us studying Greek and Hebrew and Latin when it's diversion. Remember in college, everybody had to learn Latin? Yeah, they want you to be stuck in their world, the illusory world of false terminology, and they all say, well, we don't know where the Aryans came from. To the west, they say they came from the west and went into the east, and the east, they say they came from the east and went into the west. Well, guess what? Let's take it to the middle point, because that's where it all began in Mesopotamia. That's the Greek for Padamaram, and it's seer. I think seer is the other term. I got so much in my head, it's hard to remember sometimes the specific terms, But I do a lot of ad libbing here, and I have to have too many notes in front of me to refer to everything. So go listen to the back issues, ladies and gentlemen. We have done a lot of programming here, but I just want to share a few words, Shavors, before we get into the second letter of the alphabet, which is not letter B, but we're going to be there. Will there be? Will there be? Let there be. Okay. So a couple quotes. Words are not supposed to control you, because you are supposed to be in control of the words. That's one of my latest quotes I just read and wrote, and then I wrote this one, just perfected it today, actually. Whosoever can see and admit the error in the creation can then put on the perfection of the all. And that's the whole purpose and intent for our being, is to put on the perfection, because we fell into the corruption of dense matter, of false narratives, and the illusions of this demonic world. Demonic meaning of the lower nature, not some visible creature that flies through the air, does damage. You do a demonstration. Well, there's your demon. You a demon every time you do a demonstration? Maybe not. There's democracy, demo creatos in the Greek. Demo creatos meaning demon creation. Well, who are those demons? I think they might be Freemasons and banking Jews and Jesuits. Could be. And there they didn't even tell us that we were the serpent. Every time we put on our shirt and pants, we can't even get the picture. We've been so fully controlled. Interesting terminology here. The Adam and Eve is also, we could say, the atom and evolution. So interesting how they create words that, with like evolution, they're implying that the virgin light has evolved, through time. And of course she has. Evolution is a part of this world, a part of this universe. Only difference is man did not evolve from other creations. He was spontaneously generated by Elohim. Okay, Elohim being correctly Elohim, the Ulavhaim, the eye of the divine love for the many. Okay, that's one aspect of that. The prime roots are Shavors. They are words by themselves. When you combine them, you get deeper meanings, and there's variable ways of interpreting it based on the symbol. Okay, that's why we talk about symbols here. In fact, I got to grab my book on symbols. I just realized I didn't have that one pulled out for in a little while. We're going to try to cover a bit of ground. We're doing we're covering several different topics and approaches to this Monday and Friday broadcast with Ninja, because we're going to slice out different portions and put them in the Cosmic Essence channel, the Cosmic Essence, and they will be then topically labeled, and these will be short works based on, well, whether I do some of these words right here. These words will be broken up into segments, or other topics. Okay, so Ninja and I are developing a plan for bringing it to you. Okay, so that we can give you an opportunity, rather than having to listen to the big broadcast, you can listen to snippets, whether you're interested in the Shavors, correctly for words, or whether you're interested in symbols. We will define symbols in all their aspects, and also then scriptures, corrupt translations, transliterations of our most sacred texts that have been corrupted by priesthoods. There is no perfect translation or transliteration. There are no originals. And so we're in trouble when we are unable to properly transliterate them to help us to get the picture, which is what the Azores or words are supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so it's all a great mystery, but there is no mystery on the Forbidden History because we reveal the deeper elements of all of that stuff. Okay, so glad you tuned in, and we do take calls, by the way. If you want to call in with a comment or a question, give me a break. Okay, I'd love it. 608-566-7295. But while I'm on the phone with Ninja, I'd have to three-way you in. So you'd have to text me at 608-566-7295 and text me, say, hey, Desert, I'm on the chat or I'm listening in. I'd like to come on and, ask a question, make a comment, and we'll three-way you in. So you text me your phone number, and then I'll write it down, and we'll bring you in, okay? And you can be part of the call here. So continuing, or if you're on Skype, Skype would be preferred. Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio is my Skype name, and we could put the microphone right up to the telephone, and we'll have you on air. It works very well. Okay, so love to hear from you. You never call in, that's your problem, and
I do.
love the interaction. We're here to serve. Okay, right? And
yes.
So here's the word dozen. The word dozen is an interesting one. I just came up with
dozen.
Within a week or so. I don't know if we talked about that one, Ninja, but dozen
no, I don't think so.
Is okay. Well, I see more in it today. I just wrote down a little more while we were working out our technical problems. I saw more into it. Hang on. Okay. So dozen. It's like, okay, what's the big deal, Desert? The word dozen has been with us all these years. What's going on? What's the deal? And well, it's hiding the original. That's what's going on. Dozen. Okay, so we know a dozen is 12, right? So what's interesting about the 12? Oh, there you go. Took all the flash away. It's great.
No
Thank
worries.
you. Now I can tolerate it. Okay, because those boards are flashing and all that stuff, and I couldn't have a discussion with that looking at me. So that's better. Thank you. And the magic of technology. Love it and hate it. So the word dozen, unlike, we have 10 toes, 10 fingers, and so we deal with tens as a base for our mathematics. Yet, where did this dozen come from? You see, and so it's a cosmic number. We're talking about the cosmic essence, Ninja. So
yes.
The dozen is a cosmic number, and it is. I might as well put it in the chat. That way, we got to see, as Confucius said, you hear and you forget, you see and you remember, right? Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
I hear and I forget, and I see, that is, I get the picture and I remember. So let me type it in.
I think I know what you're I won't blow it for you, but I think I know what you're getting at. I just want to see.
And then it's TAO. There we go. And Zan, TZANN, is actually ZEN. Okay, you see, we've seen these words all of our lives, but we don't get the picture of it. Okay, well, Crystal, hang in there. Okay, that's why listening in to the program for a while helps open up the when you heard this stuff for the first time, your head is spinning. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the Zen, and so the Zen means like we go to the beach, and it's the word sand, S-A-N-D. Okay, here, let me do this. S-A-N-D is Z-E-N. Okay. Okay, why? Why is that Zen? Because see, sand is a corruption. Remember, they've corrupted all of our words, and they have it's the mind control. We no longer get the picture. So when we go to the beach and we're walking on sand, we're walking on the Zen, which is correctly T-Z-A-N-N in the most primitive. You see, it's the Zen. There's the word and an is the prime root of the word harvest. Okay, so literally Zen means the power of harvesting. And what is the power of harvesting? Well, if we talk about the sand, Zen means infinity. Well, when you walk on the beach, do you think that the sand is infinite? Would you like to try to count the grains of sand on a beach? Even in one cup?
No.
You could, right?
No.
It's beyond the mind. It is beyond the mind. That is the Zen. And that is the Zen. And that is the San. It's all the same word, but they corrupted them. Zen is corrupted. It is Zen with the T, a silent T in front of it, the symbol of creation. That's what Yeshua was nailed to, was a cross. And it is the silent symbol. It is not pronounced, it's not T-Zan. It is Zen. The T is silent. That's why he was on the cross silently for 3 hours while he's being mocked by the people. You see? Yeah, so Crystal, I think you're getting it a little bit. And so we have to go back to original thought. If we want to get the picture of, we go on the beach all of our life and we talk about, the sand, but we never know the meaning of the word, where it comes from, the original root, and it has bearing on all the other structures of our thinking. The Zen, the infinity, the sun is nothing other than a symbol of the atom, and it's the garden of the atoms. It's pure atoms. That's all. It's atoms that are coming down at us at light speed. Boom, bomb. When we go down in the sun, we feel the heat. That's the atomic energy. Those are the atoms going right through our skin. The friction is the heat. That's the friction, you see. And so the word dozen then is Tao Zan. Okay, it's up there. It's halfway up now. It's above near the top. It's Tao Zan. And so what does Tao mean? It means the end. The end. The Tao is at the end of the alphabet. It's the last letter, and it's at the end of your foot. Your toe is your Tao. It's at the end. You see? Same word again. And so the Tao Zan literally means the end of creation. So what is the Tao Zan? The end of creation, and it is the zodiac. The zodiac is, you got 12, there's your dozen, your 12 star constellations that keep going around, and these are symbols of the infinite creation that we are confronted with. You see, the end of creation is the star. That's the end of creation. That's what we are supposed to be. We come from dirt to becoming stars. That's what he told Abraham. Zavram Hain. There's Zav is the TZ again. Zavram Hain is the primitive of Abraham. He wasn't a ham. You think the Hebrew culture, if they really were for real, the people who are Jews today would call him a ham? When you're not supposed to eat pork, right? In the ancient tradition? He's not a ham. He's Zavram Hain. He is the star, ram, and the breath of the many. That's what it means. Okay? So that's the analysis of dozen. You can put that on the Cosmic Essence Ninja if you want to.
I will, and can I add a little bit to that before I forget?
All right. All right.
Sorry, I don't like stopping you when you're on a roll. That was amazing. What I saw in the word dozen, and you kind of confirmed it in a roundabout kind of way. I saw the word doze, as in doze, asleep, in a trance.
Okay, well there you go. You see, because I meant to mention this and I forgot. The D, as we talk about the battle between the D and the T, notice how they sound the same. The T is the symbol of light, and the T is the symbol of darkness. And so the D is switching out for the T in many of the Yeshavors, in many of the words, you see? That's what's going on. So the D is Tao. That's why I said that dozen is Tao Zen. I immediately knew that the D is a corruption, and I could see the word Tao in Do. So you're seeing doze, and it's true. Okay, so it's D-O-Z-E is doze, and then the letter N means that which came down. The capital N is the flying board.
Wow.
And so it means it literally means that which fell asleep.
Yes.
You see, that which fell asleep. Because they corrupted the word. That's why we fell asleep, because we no longer can read.
Dezert-Owl.
You see? The words are open up for you too. You're upstarting me, Ninja. I gotta watch myself.
I'll start typing it. I'll start typing it here. I'll send it to you.
This and you forgot that. Look at this. Because the words are unfolding. They're unfolding, but we're dead in the world. We're dead from what they fed us in school, and we know none of this. And yet it is the real science behind the mystery of our life, because words are the DNA of life, and they tell us who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. And these are all the seeds of light, and it all goes back to the one beam of light versus darkness, sun versus moon. Go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. Please continue. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
the next word is math. I was looking at math, and you just have to see that it's two words. It's ma, the th, or mahe. The t, if the t is silent, it's mahe. That's probably the original expression for math. Mahe. Why? Because the mother is the creation, and the he is the breath, and that's the breath of the father. That's the mother-father. You see, breathing behind the woman, and so math is therefore mahe, or the mother's breath, and the mother's breath, therefore, as we see in the th, is the prime root for the word truth. So math is the mother's breath, and math is the mother's truth, right? Because math does not lie. Because you add things up, 2 plus 2 is always 4, unless you're in the occultic world of deception and deceit, right? Because 2 plus 2 is always 4, and so math does not lie, but liars, or as the old saying goes, figures do not lie, but liars figure. And so we have to know math for ourselves, and we have to know the truth for ourselves at the same time. Okay, so that's the word math. And then we have one more. And, when you read it backwards, as well, there's always these other potentials, ladies and gentlemen. So nothing in math in particular that comes out. Okay, so but Moses is more correctly Moeshan. Moeshan, and the mo again as in ma for math, and and Moses is mother also, and mother. Oh, and also we see in math the word matter. Oh, I got to back up a minute. Math is the prime root for matter at the same time. That's why M-A-T is there. Matter in math, because all of matter came forth under the what's called the Fibonacci sequence, or what was that? There's another terminology for the Fibonacci. It's somebody said it the other day, and I even forgot it, and then somebody mentioned it. What's the Fibonacci sequence? The great something, isn't it? The great cosmic number or sequence? I can't remember now. It's the progression of 1 plus 1 is a 2, and then then you add up the last two numbers. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Then you add up the last two numbers, and 2 plus 3 is 5.
Yeah.
Add up the last two numbers, and you get 3 plus 5 is 8, right? And so that's called something.
Yeah, I can't think. I can't think of it.
It's a great number of. There's a terminology for it because it's not Fibonacci. He's the one who discovered it, or at least published it, but it is the great
Something.
cosmic
algorithm.
We can call it an algorithm, like the wave. These are prime numbers. Crystal, thank you. These are prime numbers, right? Okay, so Moses is remember, if you're new to the program, the problem is they've abbreviated our words, okay? And if you don't know where they did it outside the Vatican. We were shown the Vatican and its symbolism earlier. They did it outside the Vatican at a place called the College of Abbreviators. Oh my, they actually tell us right in our face what they're doing with our words. They're abbreviating them by the Jesuit Curii, and they put the cure in your eye. Jesus loves you, Jesuit, the Society of Jesus, babe. Yeah, but we're going to control your mind. We're gonna wash your words while we wash your mind, and they abbreviate the words. So Moses is an abbreviation, and typically when you see the two S's, whether it's like ISIS or Issa or Ish, all these terminologies, or the two S's, it's Ashan, or excuse me, Asha. Asha, it goes back to the primordial. We got to go back to original thought and the primordial root. And so Moses, most correctly, is Moeshan. So what does it mean? It means the mother's eye of royalty for the harvest, or the mother's eye of royalty that came down. What did he do? He came down off a mountain with the law in his hand. So when they said they named him Moses because he was taken up out of the water, well, most correctly, it means that he was taken out of the cosmic sea. You see? So where do we find the word Moses in nature if we're talking about symbolism? Well, there's a thing called the mosaic. You know what a mosaic is, and like in
Wow,
Greece,
yes.
Ninja?
I used to make. There's one on the outside wall of the house here in the backyard. A mosaic that I
Okay.
made for Dad, my dad.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
I used to make
Yeah, see,
them.
so the mosaic is made up of small ceramic pieces put together to create
Yes.
pictures. We see it on the floors and on the walls within Greece and other cultures. And so that's a mosaic. So what does it mean? It means it's a cosmic creation. It's a creation of life. And so Moesha, when he's taken up out of the river, it's only symbolic of what he's bringing from the cosmic sea. He's ultimately in his life going to come down as if from the throne of the sun, from the center point of our universe, of our solar system, and he's going to bring the law down from the light, from the mountain, the Zayon, the Zavon. You see, not Zion. That's a corruption. It's Zavon, and it means the powerful eye of the one. It could be said that way. And but so Moeshan then means it's a harvest, because whatever, as we know about the law of physics, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And so Moeshan implies that what is coming down is going to allow for a harvest, so that something can go back. And an, as in Anna, with a silent A after it, if we just look at ANN, Anna, and it helps to write this stuff down while you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, you know? If you you always got to have a pen and paper with you when you're listening here, because you write this stuff down, and you'll have your notes. I'm not going to be able to type all the time in the chat because I'm on a roll, and so you've got to take notes or get the dictionary. Ninja will tell you later how to get it. But so A-N-N-A, Anna, A-N-N-A, is a perfect, what we call a perfect anagram, because it reads the same frontwards and backwards. Well, what is An? An, or Anna, means harvest, you see, and it means one harvest, because A-N is a prime root for one, and so there we see the word Zan in this element, as well as we just talked about it a little bit ago, the Zan. So you see all of these forms are intermixing with each other and create other primordial expressions. Okay, so Moeshan, the mother's eye of royalty, he represents the female then. Even though he's a male, he's representing the female as the Mo, the mother. The mother's royal eye of the harvest. Then he represents also the sun. Okay, so the mother's eye of royalty for the harvest. And I have a note here to see Zorain, okay, because Zorain, you see the root of An, but with an A-Y, A-Y-N-N. You had there it is. Thank you, Ninja.
No worries.
It's right on the board. So Zorain is the prime root for light, or the Indo-Germanic for light, excuse me. And you see the word ray for a ray of light, but the A-Y is the eye, meaning the eye of the sun, and the two ends is the symbolism of division, what came down, the male and female, and the Zo is the prime root for the seed, because the sun is a seed as well, and so we could say Zorain means the seed in the ray of the light that came down. The seed are what we're talking about in the communication devices, the word, the symbols, the letters, which are symbols and incorrectly called letters. They are symbols, and they are of a higher order. They are words by themselves, okay? So all of that is there. I know I go quickly, but you've got the ability to play it again and stop and go and take notes, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you've got to do if you're going to follow this science, okay? So that's where we're at with all of that. Ninja, I just did some Shavors for everybody. In the beginning, it says in the King James, in the beginning is the word. Well, or excuse me, was the word. Was the word? Wait, it was? No, is. In the beginning is the word, but if you put an S in front of word, you get sword. Then in the Greek, it says in the beginning was. So wait a minute, I thought it is. In the beginning is the logo. And so what is the sword? Well, it's a logo. And what is the logo? It is the light of the sun. And the sun is called Azor. Azor is the original word for sun, the Azor. And we see the word Zar comes out of it, the K-Zar, which we pronounce as Caesar. But it's the Zar is the original word for star. Star is a corruption. It's covering the word Zar. They don't want us using that word because we'd be able to piece all this stuff back together. You see? We can piece it all together. And actually, correctly, Crystal, it'd be A-T-Z-O-R. You're just missing the T. And correctly, in the original, it'll be all capital letters. Those are the original graphics that we use because that's original Indo-Germanic. That's what was breathed into Adam these capital letters we find on our driver's license in America are the original primitive letters that went into breathed into Adam at the beginning. So you need to also listen to our series we did on the Forbidden History Live, but Forbidden History Live, 3 words, Forbidden History Live, and we just finished the series on who was Adam, 5 parts, okay? And thank you, Lynn. And so, okay, Ninja, let's go to a good long break, a 7-minute break if you got one, and
okay,
when we come back, we'll pick up on the alphabet, or letter B, okay?
Okay, I'm just looking for the breaks.
Okay.
I'm getting there. It's almost.
Just break something, and then we'll be there, okay? Just the B rake. Oh, the B rake. We rake it in.
Okay, I'm good to go. I found it.
All right.
All good.
I need a break.
Okay.
I'll need a minute.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. Please stay tuned. You won't hear this anywhere else. And it's only going to get better. It's already amazing. Wow. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, we'll be back right after the break. Okay, and we're back. Commercial time. G'day, Boost. How's it going? Yeah, that's my email if you want to get the PDFs. We also welcome any size donation. We're doing this voluntarily because we love it and we have to do it. We need to share this information, and we don't have any sponsors or anything like that. So any donations will help us get this information out. But if you can't afford to donate, yeah, send me an email and we'll get you the PDFs anyway, because it's important. The PDFs are brilliant. Sorry, I'm scrolling down trying to find the graphics. So you can see and read it for yourself. Last time I checked, at the beginning of the stream, the description box was empty because of all the technical difficulties we were having. I don't want to have a look at the moment, but yeah, if there's nothing in the description, I'll put all the information back in there after the stream, so everything you need to know will be there. Here's an example of the PDFs. First one is the Real Da Vinci Code, Etymological Dictionary, written by Dezert-Owl. It's amazing. The words, the écheveaux, are beautiful. You go on little word adventures. It's just amazing stuff. They're alive. The words are alive. There's also the Book of Wisdom, which is also a brilliant read. I find that because I'm on the other side of the planet, compared to most of you, when I'm going through really, when I'm struggling a lot in the daytime here, I can't just call somebody. I can't just call Desert. I can't just call you, Lynn, because you're all asleep on the other side of the planet because it's night time. And I find the Book of Wisdom is my go-to book. I go straight to that and I just open it at random, and the answer that I'm looking for is just right there in front of me, or reassurance. Yeah, what? Yeah, I can't call you when you're sleeping in the middle of the night if I'm having a bad day. So I go to the Book of Wisdom. Yeah, it's brilliant. And there's also a sample of the original Gospel, with a more up-to-date version of Desert's Dictionary at the back of it. So yeah, so they're the 3 PDFs. Yeah. We also take live callers, just so you know. It's a caller-generated program. Desert is very easy to speak to. He doesn't bite. I know I was absolutely terrified. It took me weeks to work up the courage to call in on his original program, the Forbidden History series, and now I can't imagine not calling in on the live streams. Yeah, I'm not a very outgoing person, and I'm now live streaming on YouTube, interviewing a word archaeologist and calling in on live streams. So yeah, so if you want to call in, please do, with any questions, just to say g'day, yeah, about anything. The phone number is, I shouldn't have to look it up, 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. If you're international, just put a +1 at the start. we're very high tech here. Please send Desert a text first so that he can three-way you into the conversation, because my phone doesn't have that option. Okay, or you can also Skype. Is it Free America Radio? Does it? That they Skype? Is that it?
Yeah, one word, Free America Radio.
Yeah, just making sure it was still that. Yeah, Free America Radio on Skype. And we can do it that way.
Free as in freedom.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, Desert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for all that.
I don't think I missed anything.
Yeah. And so we want to make these works available, and we hope that people will make a contribution, because the Book of Wisdom we want to publish and get it to those who are in prison. It's only 22 chapters, so it's not a big book. The chapters are relatively small in comparison to other books, and but we have no budget to publish. So any donation you make, like the scripture says to visit those who are in prison. Well, this is a way you could visit those who are in prison if you're not getting in a car and driving to one. That we can do it indirectly, and these are the people that are suffering the most because their freedom has been taken from them, and most of the people in prison today, I would venture to say 70% of them don't belong there. They have been victims of statutory codes, rules, and regulations that have defrauded them into the slavery racket of bonding their birth certificate and putting it on Wall Street, where they originally used to sell black slaves, and the Wall Street on the wall. Okay, after they came off the ship, and so we have to. We're trying to do something important here, ladies and gentlemen. You can be a part of it, okay? And so I just want to mention where Corey put up the word throne, and he defined it as the one. He was seeing it, but he failed to identify the letter R, which is a component of the word throne and would be the most significant symbol within the word, because the R in its prime root represents royal. And so I typed it in there as being the royal one. The royal one, that's a form. That would be a form of the original thought of what throne implies. Well, clearly we can see that the throne would have sitting upon it the royal one, right? No question about it. So that was good. And so Ninja, pull up our dictionary, and we'll go ahead and start talking about the letter B. Okay.
Okay.
I want to welcome any new listeners to the broadcast, and I know that it takes a little bit of following this trail that we're on, being on the trail with us on the caravan route, and seeing things you've never seen before, and then realizing the bigger universe of what has been denied us, because they got us stuck on the left brain, on the side of the slavery, and we were only told everything means one thing, and don't ask any questions, and shut up and sit down, and if you don't accept what we do, you're going to get a failing grade. All the things that they pulled on us in school, and right, because the flag represents royalty, typically could represent a royal element, even though the royal aspect, we see the flags, most especially in Europe, would be royals. Of course, actually, the people running the show here, the puppets, they also come from royal line. Whoever is closest relation to the royalty of England is the next one that's voted in. Okay, yeah.
And just so you guys know, I can't see the chat at the moment, so I'm not ignoring anybody. I just can't see the chat.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget we're all doing time, and it's hard for some of us. It's hard time, and we're never going to get over the pain. Okay, so you're going to pull up the dictionary, Ninja?
Yeah, it's there. It's just delayed.
Oh, it's delayed. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll see me scrolling in a second. On.
Yeah. Well, L is corruption. L comes out of the Babylonian Talmud, and because they didn't want us to see two O's, okay? So L is correctly like this. Okay? So because the L as in elder is ultor. Ultor, as elder, ultor, well, who are the wise ones, but the ones who are older, supposedly. They're supposed to be the ones who've been around longer. therefore they know the score. So everybody looks to their elders, but the D, see, the D is a corruption again to elder. Der means the ool, the owl, but it's ultors, and it's the owl. Okay, so the WOWL is a corruption on the owl, because OOL, you can see clearly the two O's are the eye of the owl, and it's a symbol of time because he's the one from Ancient of Days, and so the two eyes represent sun and moon in the most primordial sense, and so we got to see symbols. So Ninja, the delay is taking far too long. There's something must be not right here. So we're not able to pull up the dictionary?
The dictionary is on my screen. What are you seeing right now?
Oh yeah, but you're not doing a desktop. You got to do desktop feature for that. Show your desktop.
I forgot to put the desktop up. Sorry, it's 2:15 in the morning.
Okay.
I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. Are you hanging in there? Do we need to wrap it up pretty quick here? Or
No wrapping. No wrapping necessary. Does it?
No wrapping?
No wrapping.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
If we need to pipe, if you're stuck for some reason, okay, there we go. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. Technology still works. Okay.
It still works. It's just Ninja's a bit delayed at the moment.
All right, and so we're on the BV, and it's stuck at the bottom of a page, so it'll stay right there, Ninja, right there. The B
Okie dokie.
is a V. I can't see what's above it, though. I'm just curious, making sure. I want to know what's above it.
Do you want me to move? Do you want me to move it?
Yeah, just scroll for a moment, because I want to make sure I know what's above. It's probably the letter A at its conclusion, but Angelus rune. Oh, no, go up more, because
Up more?
there's the beta. It says beta
Oh,
right
okay.
there. So
Yep,
something.
I got it. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
I scrolled down too far and I didn't go back up.
Starting at the bottom of the page that way, because there you go. Now back up a little right there. Okay, you got it. She has trouble doing an incremental scroll, so we have to.
It's the mouse. I swear it's the mouse.
Okay, so as we see the letter B, and then I put up there also the way we find it in the Greek, and also the Old English. Those very two small symbols below. The left one I perceive as the Greek, and then the one on the right, which looks like a backward 6 with the stroke line through the top, is Old English, and so B has implications. Even though it's a manufactured symbol, it's not an original. It's actually covering the V, and we'll see that when we get down a little further. So the soul, it represents the soul, and we send the word soul. Of course, we see the word owl again, because the soul, the owl, goes back to the all-seeing eye, because the sun represents the eye of the great Father of Light, who sees all things, and so that's where the owl, comes from, because he is an owl, and he is, other metaphors as well. He is light, of course, and so these are cyber codes because of the corruption of the B, and we'll prove that out in a little bit. So going down, then Dorin, I'm trying to remember, when I'm typing what I was seeing at the time. There's so much to remember, and it's such a deep, well that we go down. So born, we can see the middle, next to the word born, in the middle, what's really a TH is thorn, and thorn in the Old English, thorn, and then thorn. And so very often what I'm doing is I'm putting things down that look like a thesaurus of symbols. At the moment, I may have lost something in why, I had written that down, but born, actually, we can see what happens on a farm. Where are all the animals born? They are born in the barn. And so the prime vowel of the O is the A, and so we can see that when you are born in the barn, the same word. So the original word for born is barn. That's what they would have meant. In other words, barn. He was just born in the barn, for all the animals. Not that people are born in the barn, but you see, that's how this word originates from the agrarian and the farm aspect. Okay, so do you want to jump in? Ninja?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. Sorry, I just saw something. When you're saying born in a barn, that's uh, the spoon-fed version, isn't it? Like Yeshua. I don't want to say Jesus, but that's that version of the story. He was born in a barn.
No, he was actually born in a cave. That's Keva. That's Eve. Keva is Eve.
But
he was born in a cave.
Yeah, but
it had animals in it. It was a stall for animals. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like in the.
And he was.
Isn't the false?
You put in the manger.
Yeah.
You put in the manger, which is a feeding trough for animals, meaning that all of the animals would be eating from the trough, meaning all the occultic. It implies the occultic animals that would feed from the trough of his story. You see, and then pretend religion. You see, and so so you got it. That's right.
Thank you.
But anyway, these are forms. We're looking at forms, trying to make sense out of them. So we see. I put up the Hebrew symbolism that would be there, but the Hebrew is a code all by itself that is more mystical than any of the other letters. Well, yes and no. But the V you see on the right, on the extreme right, and the P is also, as it sounds like a B, P, B. These letters have relative sounds, and they're like the V, and therefore there's a relationship between them, and they switch these out in different languages or diction or tone keys. So so language is a corruption. That's another story for another day. But language is not the correct word for what we say when we speak. Okay, and so we're dealing with forms, and you see them in the different European tongues. That's what I used to analyze for the European tongues. Okay, and then compare them, and I saw how the switch outs occurred because they were all manufactured. They were all come from the Venetian. These royal families all came out of Venice. After the Etruscans moved over there, they were the great merchant class, and then they settled in Europe after they got rid of all the redhead spotted Celtic, who we call Irish today, but they proliferated all of Europe. And then they put lines in the sand, and they created France and Germany and England and the Norse countries and Spain, and the priesthood evolved distinct qualities within each of these different nations, so-called nations, pseudo-nations, with their tongues, with their speech, and they manipulated the letters. It's all the priesthood that did this. That's what we're talking about, is the priesthood running the world, the Zavram, going back into the ancient Aryan Brahmin, okay, that they're still running the world today in their great secret enclaves. And so modern Anglo-Saxon rune and Hebrew, so I'm showing these different aspects of letters. Thorn, hidden Hebrew, beta. The beta is patha, okay, anagram for north. North means the secret place, but north also means straight up. That's literally what it means. And you see, so it means that which came down from above. The N is the sliding board again, and there was the word or. Or is the prime root for light, and the TH for the breath. See, so that which came down from the light with the breath. That's the word north. Okay, and so continuing thorn, Darth, Landvater, AR, the hidden woman. Okay, so let's scroll down now to the bottom of the page, Ninja, to get the other aspect. And then we'll show how the V really is supposed to be the V. That's coming up next. You see, it's AV. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so it's really, see, it's not ABC, it's AVG. And so the AV creates the star. Okay, so real quick, Ninja, just scroll back up to the top of A. The top of A, because we want to show them the AV combination, how it creates the star, the six-pointed star, which is a symbol of creation. Everything was made within six, and six is also the Fibonacci sequence, okay?
Hang on,
that's the Fibonacci, that's the unfolding of creation. There you go. Well, that was...
No, I have to go higher, up.
Okay. There you... Oh, okay.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Go ahead.
There, found it.
You're getting it.
The star.
Uh-huh. All right.
Yeah.
Getting close. There you go. Oh, went too far. There you go. So, well, but there was another one. Okay, the
We'll
A,
go,
B,
keep going up.
the Star of David. We can see
Okay.
the A above and the V below, and when you superimpose them on top of each other, you get the lower creation, higher creation. Where are you going?
It's all right. It'll stop in a second. I just had
All
a
right.
quick look up.
Okay. So there's the AV. The first two letters so the V is hiding in the cross member of the letter A. That's why that cross member is there, because it's revealing the code. You're supposed to get the picture. And so the AV, so the V is hiding. They made it A, B, C, but the V is hiding in the A, so you see the evidence of it, and you can clearly get the picture. It's telling us then that everything started with a star, and it started with the sun, because everything came out of the light. And so the first letter of the alphabet, as we talked about, is the symbol of a star, light projection from a point going out, radiating in infinite expanse. That's what the letter A is doing when it's coming down. Now the V is the cup that's receiving the light, and therefore it represents the virgin creation, the fall of the Eve. That's the middle letter of the word Eve, correctly Ava, correctly Kava, or Kava, you see? And so these are the corruptions of the words. You're hearing many of these words for the first time. They hit it in the Strong's Concordance. It's not in the Strong's. Only part of these words are in there. I proved this out over and over, just like the word Lot. Go look up in the Strong's Concordance. His name isn't Lot. It's Lotan. It sounds like Latin, rather interesting. And so there's a story behind there. Also backwards, the anagram is natal. Natal for like, being born, okay? Natal care, okay? So
Yeah.
so let's scroll back up now. Ninja, I just want to prove out with the six-pointed star. It's not the Star of David. It never was his. It comes from India. And so we were not allowed to make images and pictures and symbols, because this creates false characterization and illusions, and therefore the only symbols we were allowed to make was with the alphabet itself, and the alphabet is going to tell the story. There you go. Beautiful combination, AV. Again, the duality, the hidden V. Thank you, Ninja. We keep on going back to B
Back
now.
to B?
And,
Okay.
yeah, it's back to B. And we have to be back to B. Okay.
Yeah. Just play some music.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite an extensive dictionary that has been produced here. It's there's nothing like it on the planet, and it will help. It will help to open up your vision for this. Okay, so the V does represent the lunar cycle, because the A represents the sun, and so the V would symbolically then represent the moon, and that's why we see the word in the letter B, which is a supplement for the V. It's a code, and it's saying 13. It's two set parts. It's 13. Actually, it's three parts, if you realize that the upper circle and the lower circle is the moon on top and the sun below. So the moon is stating it's on top of the sun, that it's dominating the picture here, because they were following the lunar cycle, rather unlike what Yeshua introduced to us, is the pure aspect of the light of the sun that we could now look at, because the moon is the softer light, and we can't look at the sun because it would, because of its brightness. And so these are all metaphors and symbols at the same time that are telling a story from the beginning. Okay, so scroll to the next page, Ninja, the top of the next page, and let's see what we got. Page 36. 36 is the code for 666. If you add up all the numbers from 1 through 36, okay, going 1, that's good right there, Ninja. 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Keep adding up all those numbers up until and including number 36. All those numbers add up to 666. So it's a mystical number. 36 is a mystical number. And if you add 36, multiply 36 times 2, then you get 72, which is the goes back to the zodiac again because it's 72 years is 1 degree in the cosmic clock of the zodiac. Okay, every 72 years we move 1 degree on the 360-degree clock of the zodiac. Okay, and we go around every 26,000 years.
And 6 sixes are 36. Just wanted to add that.
Well, 18 is also implying 3 sixes. Three times 6 is 18, and there's 3 sixes again, right? So there's a lot going on with the 666 number. That's why the occult like it. You see, it's a mystical number, and it represents the sun. 666 actually represents a star. It's not evil by itself. It's just that the occult have taken over the mysticism behind the number.
Yeah.
So if we look at the B being number 13 at the top there, then I'm pointing out the original is the V. You hear the similarity in the sound, V, 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 so they have a similar sound. And but the B is hiding the lunar cycle, and then we've got fifth and beta and B. The B is where the sting of death occurs. That's why they call that little stinger, that little goes into the flower. The bee, has also the sting of death with them because it is the secondary or the lower creation that came out from the light, the lower garden, not the Adam or the Eden, because the Adam is the Eden, the star of atoms. All the great mystery, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to go and listen to our presentation now that we have on Who is Adam, the Great Lie, and start with program number 1. It's on Forbidden History Live. Okay, blow your mind. And we're going to get it sliced out of the main production so you can just focus on that particular 5-part series without the rest of the program. That's what we're working on, thanks to Yo Shelley and Ninja. So that'll be posted on the Cosmic Essence. Okay, we got a lot of juggling we're doing because we're trying to accommodate everyone to be able to get on speed quickly, so people don't have time to listen to the main program. You can listen to the clips that Ninja and Shelley are helping out to produce as well. Okay.
Does it?
So 13. Yes, go ahead.
Can I just add with B and the sting of death? The bee dies when it stings. Sting of death.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah. The sting of death. That's a good point, Ninja. And it's absolutely. So we see in the word beta, right under the 13 and the B, the word beta has an element of what B represents, alpha, beta, they say, alpha, beta. So look at the code. Now you can see the code very well because the B is hiding the V right underneath, and the T then became corrupted in the word beta because the TA is the prime root, and so we see beta becomes Veda. It's the same word when you get the picture of the code. What's going on? The Vedas are the most ancient scriptures on the planet, 4 volumes, and they got a swastika on the cover, which is the symbol of the light particle or the filthot, the fan, the power generator coming down to bring forth creation. But practically, it would be Vata. So the correct, so there's, it's underneath. There it is. Right underneath Beta, I've got Vata. You see, so now you see Vata is the correct aspect of those symbols. That's the correct spelling because it's a V-A-T-A. And what do you get with Vata? There's your Viata. There's your Vata. There's your serpent. There's your water. There's the word for water, the cosmic sea. What came down out of the cosmic sea into the lower creation and the sea of mankind. You see? Vata. And so this is a part of the great mystery, and then I went further. Vater. I showed how it transformed itself into the word water. Okay, this is the code, ladies and gentlemen. This is the great mystery that they didn't give us in school. They're not talking about this stuff in university because they're tenured. Tenured means you've got a tin ear, and therefore you teach what we tell you to teach. And if you lose your tin ear and don't listen to us, and you start saying stuff you're not supposed to, you'll lose your tenor, your big paycheck. That's the tenor. See, that's what. There's another code right there. It's a joke. You're tin-eared. Okay, so you don't think for yourself. We tell you what to think, Papa. Okay, yes, I'm a professor. I'll be happy to profess whatever you want me to profess. Thank you very much. I'll use your curriculum. Curriculum sounds like what they corrected, right? The corrected home. The corrected home. Oh, curriculum is corrected home. corrected sound. Oh.
Desert, I just saw something else. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. I'm having fun. I'm just discovering it right here
yes,
as we're talking.
yes,
it's mind blower.
Before I forget, because I haven't written it down. Tenor. There's vocalists. The three tenors. Curriculum, chorus, sound. I just see all of this interconnecting and yeah. So yeah, that's what I saw. Tenors. And I just saw it relating to sound when you were talking about it, and then you said sound at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to apply sound to the symbol because it will reveal another element, and most often the sound dominates the symbol because most typically the symbol is corrupted. You see, but we have to look at it from both aspects for the clarification because we're attempting to follow something down a trail back to the past, and so we always have to remain open and realize that we may need more focus. It's something that's coming, but so anyway, so we see that the V after it's water is Vator. There's the Darth Vader. You see, there's Vader, right? Darth Vader. He's the dark sea. He's the dark waters. The Darth Vader is the dark waters, the cosmic sea, right? Which is all black. The cosmic sea is all black. And when you go out to the ocean, you look down, and when in the deep waters, it was pretty dark down there too, right? The ocean is dark. It means mystery, and so water came sound after.
Are you there, Desert? Okay. Slight technical difficulty. I'll just get Desert back. Won't be a second. Desert, I'm calling you back. I can't see the chat, so I can't see if you're in there. G'day.
Hey, yeah, it is a good day. Thank you very much, especially when we can get back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. You disappeared.
Well, that was Bhagwan Gandhi Rashish Hashish. Who was just having some fun about it. That's all. They hate this. They're after they worked so hard overtime to hide the light from us, and now it's shining. And so that's their problem. So let's look at the symbolism of the V now. In another aspect that's beyond the dictionary. You can leave that dictionary right where it is. And I'm just closing my curtains so that the UV, C, and V radiation don't come beaming through so much because it's getting midday and the reflection from outside is pretty intense. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, stay out of the UVC and UVB. The little ones can no longer play in the rain in their bare feet because it'll absorb all the toxins they put in the air, and you can no longer enjoy the sunshine because it is a killer, especially for young and old.
Yep.
And you need to do the research. Go to DaneWigington.com. That's D-A-N-E, second name Wigington, W-I-G-I-N-G-T-O-N, DaneWigington.com. Go check out his YouTube channel, okay? For his history as well. For
I'll put the information up after after we've done with the dictionary.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so the AV, just to clarify, in its prime root together, the two first letters of the alphabet represent the star of creation. The star of creation. But in the ancient tradition, in the rabbinical tradition, even though these guys are occultists and give us only part truth and part lies, nonetheless, the part truth is all I care about. And it said that the A gave power to the V for creation, so that's the woman, because the A represents the male. That's the Abraham. That's the Avramhaim. There's Avramhaim. And the Aram is the star ram. So AV together means star, okay, just to clarify. And so if we look at the V now as a symbol, well, what's coming down? We have two separate lines. It's called a chevron. And the chevron is also synonymous with the word seven. And that's why a seven looks like a chevron, because it implies an offset, like a broken line, but it's a symbol of creation. It means two components of opposites, male, female, light and darkness, cold and hot, wet and dry, all, male, female, all of these things, fire and water, all opposites. So literally the V is a component of two straight lines. And so in the primordial sense, the two straight lines represent two pillars, the classic two pillars that came down and the occult worship between, of the sacred altar. They had a column on each side of the altar, and the two columns or the two pillars represented sun and moon, the supports. The pillars are supports, and they represent sun and moon because sun and moon are the supports of life on the earth, and we see them classically in Freemasonry called Jachin and Boaz, and this goes back to the beginning and what they took out of the King James and just called them idols, when correctly for our Fenton, in his translation from 1905, the most important translation of our scriptures in modern time, got it right, and he calls them the two columns. And between the two columns is the altar, and that's where they did blood sacrifice. That's where they passed their children through the fire for initiation, and so that's all what the two aspects of the V represent. That's why they love the V, because in the primary it represents the two pillars coming together. What was split apart, then coming together down here. But you see, they're phony illuminated. They're not coming together in the light. They're still in the darkness. Therefore, they are still division. Yeshua brings everything back together, back to a point, and that's part of the great mystery.
Yeah, I see it. Does it? The V, how you were saying how it comes down and then joins together, and then they're not going into the light, they're coming down and it's joining together, where with the A, the point is at the top and the light is coming down and spreading out. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah.
These are graphics that have to be read, and so so we see the word Baphomet right on the right hand side, right above the goat head, right? You can see that, everybody. And so look at the letter M, the capital M, and you see the capital M has two pillars supporting it, and it's a V in the middle. See, so it's the letter M for mother is a V with a pillar supporting it on each side. They're telling you there's your two pillars.
Yeah.
It's found within V itself, but we see it now more clearly in the letter M because it's holding up the V, the two pillars. So that's why that we then find the letter M exactly in the middle of the alphabet, because the M and the V and the pillars are at the core and the center of all of this in the symbolism and the metaphor. That's why the letter M is in the middle, and then with the letter N follows. And what happens to the N? Well, there's two N's because it's each half a component of the V. You see, they're each a half a component of the M. So you can see there's only half a stroke coming down, where in the M there's two strokes coming down, but in N there's only half a stroke coming down with two columns, meaning it's half. It's either male, female, light or darkness, yin or yang, right? You see, so there's your division. And the M is the N is a split M, and that's why, like in the Deutsch, you see when they spell the word man, it's spelled M-A-N-N, because it's the split of the M, and that's why they spell correctly with two N's, because when you see one N, there's two N's. When you see one L, there's two L's, and this is part of the mystery as well, And it's a thick wick, Ninja. Okay, so I'm starting to wind down here. We've been attempting this for 3 hours. That's my normal time. I might be able to pull one more thing out before we're done here. If you want to take a break, let me see what I've got. Well, I had that other read. I was supposed to do that other read from the Dictionary of Scriptures in a bit. Let me look at it, okay? And
so go away from take the dictionary off now.
Scroll down a little more. I want to see the definition of B, the big B and the small b right below these symbols. Just scroll a little bit. Right there on the left it says B, for defining what B means. Okay, a little more. If you can go a little more. Oh, right there. You got it. Okay, don't move.
Not
And so we
moving.
see the bee. It's a prime. Let's see what the definition says, because this is a long time ago. Well, a few years ago. A prime symbol for mother or the mother's breast. Yeah. That's what it's implying, because the bee, even though it's a corruption of the V, it's still a symbol that means something. And so we're now interpreting, what the literal visual is. And so the mother or the mother's breast, we can see clearly it could be a woman's breast, and the Elohim as well. The mother is Elohim. That is female by nature. Elohim is female by nature. That's the original implication of El, even though it's correctly Ul, and all of creation is female by nature, so nothing is left out, and that which is invisible is spirit. It is also a code directly related to the V, PH, yes, as well, and then the F, in that order. And then capital B is the female, and the small b, beta, is a male phallus. So we can see that therefore, because it has two breasts, as I said, the smaller circle at the top is the moon, bigger one below is the sun. So you got male, female, sun and moon. You got female, and then you got male. So the small b represents, it's pointing up, like the erection, and so it represents a phallus. The circle then would represent the testicles, and so it's quite obvious. Beta is a male phallus. 3, definition 13, symbolically the lunar cycle. And then I give you other trails to follow in the thesaurus, telling you to go look up these other things, ladies and gentlemen. Your donations are appreciated for this work. We give it out to anybody who can't afford a donation, but there's a lot. You get something here that you won't get anywhere else, because we're further down the rabbit hole than anybody. We're proving out the code, the cyber code. We're dealing with two codes, basically, the Indo-Germanic, which was breathed into Haddam, and then we're dealing with the occultic code that they corrupted our words with. They created phony letters like the F, the J, the letter I, the U. Okay, these are, and there's a couple others. They're phony. The X. Okay, they're phony letters they threw in the alphabet to mix things up for us. That's why when people say they try to learn English, for instance, they say it's the hardest of all, because it's got one letter has 3 different sounds. It's never was supposed to be that way. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Okay, so we're just trying to give a primer. The depth of where we can go. We could, talk several days on these different aspects, because there's a lot going on. I could pull up dictionaries and read from them, but you've got to do your own legwork. You've got to get dictionaries, get the oldest dictionaries you can find, get lexicons, but realize that they're telling part truth and maybe they're part lying to you. Okay, or they're just repeating the lie because the author doesn't know the lie, and so everybody comes at it with, or most people would come at it innocently, and they're just repeating the false narrative. You see, that's what's happening most often in our society. But at the top is the controller, who knows it's a big lie. I fooled them, didn't I? Yes, Father, thank you so much, Father. They bow down and kiss the Pope's ring and his big toe, and they're so happy to lie to us, the Jesuits, The Society of Jesus, I can't get over it. What a pathetic world we've got, Ninja. So let's go to break, and I'll see if I can knock out. I'll tell you what, I'd rather do this when I'm fresh. Like I said, we've been going 3 hours, and we've lost most of our audience here, so this is a good time to wrap it up. We were going to pick up on the, but we can do this on Monday, the death. Remember, we were dealing with the word death, and so why don't we just pick that up on Monday? Okay, we'll do the other half out of the dictionary scriptures in a minute, 'cause I'm getting talked out, and and we've been at this for 3 hours, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Okay.
Okay.
I do
just getting
appreciate your
organized
effort,
here.
and you're late. You're also needing to go to bed, but I just want to tell everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. We're here to serve. We have nothing to gain here. They're coming for me, but they're coming for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget, I'm Dezert-Owl, telling you, if you want to know the future, then you simply need to look for the forbidden history, because it's all right here. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell.
Right here. Sorry, I was typing.
Thank you, Ninja. Multitasking. Okay, she's at it. She's working overtime. Ninja, thank you so much. You do great work, and we'll look for you to look for us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Forbidden History Live. Okay, and we're going to get into the Genesis chapter 2, correctly, Ganesha chapter 2, and we're beginning the new series. We're doing a primer on Forbidden History Live for the new channel for our Fenton Bible Daily Read. Okay, we're going to go through the book, the most important transliteration or translation of Scripture by Farrar Fenton. Okay, so story for another day. Hope to have you back. Beautiful graphic, Ninja. Thank you so much. You're doing great work. And be well and get some sleep, okay?
Okay, thank you, Desert. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Love you always. And let there be light. Always. Okay. That was it. You heard it here first. On the Forbidden History Chronicles. And as you know, I'm never very good at ending this. So, let there be Zorain, guys. And I will see you in the Matrix on Forbidden History Live. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm glad we got it going. It was amazing. I loved every second of it. Okay. And I'll see you guys later. I'm just looking for some music. As per usual. Okay. See yous.